Here this week we're looking at a particular type of severe weather, which is hurricanes, and there's a couple of things that you should have noted when you were reading through your chapter about how hurricanes kind of are unique from other storm systems. In terms of their formation, we need 4 key things: warm water, warm, humid, unstable air to be 300 miles from the equator, and weak upper level winds. What we really need is this warm water to get us started, to get that air rising. If the water is warm, then the air on top of it can also be warm. And again, that instability or unstable atmospheric conditions gets our air rising, so that we're able to get that going upwards. A lot of times we want sea surface temperatures around 80 degrees plus within that first 200 feet, and that's going to help fuel our hurricane. We're going to want this to stay consistent through the entire life of our hurricane. Once we move over colder waters, we'll tend to see that the storm shuts down and we don't get that formation anymore. We need to be at least 300 miles away from the equator because if you remember back to our climate discussion, we need the Coriolis effect to help spin our storm counterclockwise for low pressure here in the northern hemisphere, and remember it'll be clockwise in the southern hemisphere. At the equator, there is no Coriolis effect, so we need to be pretty far removed from that in order for our formation to occur. This is typically going to happen between 5 degrees and 20 degrees because we have the Coriolis effect, and that's where we find our warmest water. And the last thing we're going to need are weak upper level winds. We want this storm to really exist right on top of itself, and so if we can have those weak upper level winds, we don't get any tilt to the storm. And so we have rising air and sinking air that can be running parallel to one another and really not shutting it down like we saw in the dissipating stage in our regular storm formation last week. If we look at the anatomy, what's interesting, when we look at a satellite image, we have that dense cloud that we see over top, so it looks like it's one giant storm. If we take a look underneath that, we actually see that we have a lot of different bands of thunderstorms that kind of spiral around this central point, which is our eye. In the eye, we actually have sinking air. So as air rushes in towards that area of low pressure, before it can actually reach that center point, it gets turned to the right in the northern hemisphere with the Coriolis effect. So we end up with a clear eye that then allows air to sink from all of that rising air that's coming up from around it. So it's very calm in the eye of the storm. It can be fairly clear. We don't get that cloud coverage that we see in the rest of the eye. In the rain bands, we have these series of thunderstorms lined up. They're also called the spiral bands. And notice we actually have calm weather kind of in between the bands. What we'll see sometimes when that comes on to land is that we kind of get thunderstorm and then a pause with a clearing, and then thunderstorms again and then a pause. The winds will continue to be strong, but we won't actually get rain consistently. The eye wall is going to be about 5 to 15 kilometers away from the center because remember that air actually cannot reach that center point because it's getting turned to the right because of the Coriolis effect. And so we get very dense clouds here. We have a very strong updraft, so we tend to have very severe thunderstorm activity, lightning, heavy precipitation as well. Once we get beyond our rain bands, we'll notice that it clears out again. So our very pretty hurricanes to look at on satellite, and we'll look at Katrina here on the next slide, we have a very distinct eye, and then where our storm is with all of our clouds, and then beyond our storm is very clear as well. And so here we can see Katrina rotating through, and notice when she's in the Gulf of Mexico, her eye is very clear. Now, she is fairly large in terms of geographic size. Notice her rain bands are pretty wide. Once she starts making landfall, she's almost as wide as Louisiana, through Alabama and Mississippi and into Georgia. So she's fairly wide, but beyond that, she is also fairly clear.